In the early 19th century, an occultist operating in rural France attempted a ritual from the Lesser Key of Solomon, specifically from the Ars Goetia. According to surviving notes found in a private journal, he intended to summon Bael to gain the power of invisibility. But right from the outset, he made several critical mistakes. He had rushed the creation of his protective circle using a simple chalk outline on wooden flooring, rather than a properly sanctified circle engraved or painted with the divine names. He improvised the sigils and mispronounced several of the conjurations. He also lacked a properly consecrated triangle of manifestation, opting instead to summon directly before him. The result was immediate and devastating. The summoner believed the spirit manifested, but outside the intended boundary. Within days, he suffered from hallucinations, severe paranoia, loss of appetite, and periods of violent delirium. Local accounts claim he fled his home in terror and disappeared into the countryside, never returning. Stories like this abound in occult folklore, but it begs the question, how dangerous is it to summon a demon, and can you survive a failed summoning ritual? The Ars Goetia was never intended for casual use. It is not a beginner's manual. It is an advanced system of magic rooted in the ancient Solomonic tradition, attributed to King Solomon, the figure described in Scripture as the wisest of men and a master of spirits. According to the Testament of Solomon, he forged a hierarchy of demons, cataloging and commanding them through divine authority and a magical ring granted by heaven itself. The Ars Goetia draws from this foundation, presenting rituals designed to summon, bind, and control these same forces. This is a text written under the assumption that the practitioner is already a master of ceremonial magic, and the risks of attempting this magic can be very serious. Summoning a spirit means intentionally breaching the boundary between the human and the spiritual realms. The 72 spirits of the Goetia are not benign guides or helpers. They are autonomous intelligences, powerful, ancient, and often hostile to human arrogance. Without strict ritual protocols, they may refuse to obey, deceive the summoner, or attach themselves parasitically to the magician's life and mind. Historical magical orders repeatedly emphasized that the magician must maintain dominance over the spirit at all times. Any loss of concentration, emotional instability, or lack of spiritual authority could result in obsession, hallucinations, misfortune, or even complete psychological collapse. The price of failure is often slow, cumulative devastation, not instant destruction. So, if the text is so dangerous, why are people still using the Ars Goetia? Despite its dangers, the Ars Goetia remains a powerful and respected text among ceremonial magicians. It can be a tool for spiritual discovery, material assistance, and profound personal transformation, if used correctly. But this is where it gets tricky. Traditional use requires months, sometimes years of preparatory work before any spirit is summoned. This preparation includes daily purification, fasting, prayer or meditation, study of divine names, construction of proper ritual implements, and cultivation of intense self-discipline. The magician must create a ritual circle, a physical and spiritual barrier between themselves and the spirit. This circle must be inscribed with sacred names, ideally crafted under planetary or astrological timings favorable to the working. Within this circle, the magician calls upon divine authority to protect themselves and to command the spirit. The spirit itself must be summoned into a triangle of manifestation. In traditional Goetia summoning, the triangle of manifestation is a critical ritual tool. It's a separate space, usually drawn outside the magician's protective circle. This is where the spirit is commanded to appear and communicate, but cannot cross into the summoner's protected space. Then there's the ritual itself. This isn't a negotiation or a conversation. It is an act of lawful command. The magician must be calm, clear, authoritative, and emotionless during the operation. Summoning with fear, rage, or desperate desire invites immediate exploitation by the spirit. And then, when the task or communication is complete, the spirit must be formally and respectfully dismissed. Failing to close the ritual properly can leave the spirit free to linger and interfere with the summoner's life. The Ars Goetia is precise for a reason. It assumes the summoner knows how to prepare, how to command, and how to protect themselves. Yet across history and modern practice, most failed summoning attempts share a pattern of critical mistakes. Improvising ritual tools. Many summoners cut corners, creating sigils or circles casually, instead of carefully replicating the traditional designs. This error is said to weaken the structure of the ritual, leaving openings for the spirit to exploit. Mispronouncing the divine names. In Goetia, invoking the correct divine authority is what binds the spirit. Mispronouncing sacred names, or worse, treating them as optional, breaks the legal force of the summoning. Summoning with ego or desperation. Those who approach the spirits out of greed, lust, vengeance, or desperation signal vulnerability. Spirits are quick to detect emotional weakness and will exploit it mercilessly. Skipping the triangle of manifestation. Attempting to summon the spirit directly into the circle or into unprotected space removes the physical and symbolic separation necessary for safe interaction. Failing to dismiss the spirit. Ending the ritual casually or neglecting formal dismissal allows the spirit to linger unbound. Spirits not dismissed properly are free to interfere in the summoner's life without restraint. Allowing fear or doubt to break focus. Even a moment of uncontrolled fear or disbelief during the ritual can shatter the magician's dominance, giving the spirit leverage to resist or retaliate. Each of these mistakes, individually, is dangerous. Combined, they are almost certain to lead to disastrous consequences. And then there's the issue of breaking the ritual midway. Ritual integrity is the summoner's only shield. If you break the ritual halfway through, whether by panicking, forgetting a step, or abandoning the rite halfway, there can be lasting consequences. If the circle is compromised, the magician isn't protected from the spirit. If the triangle is not properly constructed, the spirit may not be contained within it. Abandoning the ritual halfway through without formally dismissing the spirit can result in the spirit lingering behind, and this can lead to persistent disturbances in their environment, recurrent nightmares or visions connected to the summoned spirit, a growing feeling of dread, depression, or irrational fear, breakdown in luck, relationships, health, or mental stability over time. In occult tradition, these effects are called spiritual contamination, the subtle but devastating influence of a spirit that was never properly sent back. Once contamination sets in, it often requires additional rituals, sometimes full exorcisms or banishings, to clear. And even then, some effects may linger, especially if the summoner remains spiritually weakened. The lesson is clear. If you begin a Goetic operation, you must be prepared to finish it. There is no safe halfway point. The Ars Goetia offers knowledge and power, but only to those capable of bearing its weight. Summoning these spirits is not a matter of curiosity or spectacle. It is a contract made with forces that are older and more cunning than humanity itself. The real danger of the Ars Goetia lies not in what is summoned, but in what is awakened within the summoner themselves. Only those who have prepared fully, who summon from a place of authority rather than hunger, and who understand the nature of the forces they call upon, can hope to use the Goetia safely. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel. It helps us make better videos and grow our community of like-minded thinkers. Thanks for watching.